Hey there folks, Nixcraft here. Welcome on back to another preview video, and this time we are previewing everything coming in the 1.19 Wild Update. We have just received a release date for 1.19. It is coming out on June 7th, so it is right around the corner. I think it is a good idea to dive into some of the features that are going to be coming in the Wild Update, starting here at the Mangrove Swamp. Just a quick disclaimer for anybody watching, I am a Bedrock exclusive player, so most of the content I'll be covering will be pretty universal to both versions, but some topics will be exclusive to Bedrock only, so just beware of that. Also, when I inevitably forget something in this video, please let me know in the comments. These biomes primarily spawn closer to warm biomes. We are bordering ourselves a jungle here, and inside you will find a whole bunch of new blocks, including these mangrove roots. Now I think these are really cool blocks for decorating. My first thought is it looks almost like a dead bush, like instead of using leaves and stuff for bushes outside your builds, maybe it's a dead bush. And speaking of dead bushes, you'll also find those scattered around this area, along with some moss carpets growing on the roots here. And speaking of the roots on these trees, they can grow absolutely massive, and we have a new wood type along with it. We have the mangrove log, which of course comes with all the slabs, stairs, and what have you. As you walk along the surface of the mangrove swamp, not only is it atmospheric, but it is very squishy because you're walking on some mud. Now you could actually dry this out and pack it down with some wheat and turn it into packed mud, which has bricks with stairs and slab variants. Another block that I really like with this is the muddy roots, muddy mangrove roots. Now these are an interesting block. I could see this in like maybe a custom tree or something like that. It looks like a whole new wood type. Along with plenty of vines, seagrass, and some lily pads, we also have these propagules that are growing from the leaves of the mangrove trees, and these are basically your mangrove saplings. Now that I planted that down, it's probably going to grow pretty quickly. Whoops, let's just replace that back. But yeah, so that's basically all the foliage and stuff you'll find around here. There's going to be a lot of fish, tropical fish, salmon, all sorts of varieties swimming around in these waters, so I think they definitely nailed it with the swamp vibes of this biome. As you walk through the density of this mangrove swamp, you could stumble upon some interesting critters, including the frog. Here we are. We have a couple of white frogs here. Now these are going to be the warm temperate variant of the frog, and the mangrove swamp is going to be the ideal biome because off in the distance here, you could also see that we have a slime spawning in, and these frogs just happen to like the little slimes over here. If I were to put a frog down right here by this slime, yep, there he goes. He he ate him up almost like Yoshi and spit himself out a slime ball. So these frogs are definitely loving the mangrove swamp. The frog animation itself is absolutely adorable. These guys will just hop and waddle around as they please and eat any slimes in the area. But there are also different variants of the frog. Flying out of the mangrove swamp now into the regular swamp, we could see the other variant of the frog, and it is an orange guy. It's just the temperate frog, which is like moderate temperature. Could be a swamp, regular forest, rivers, kind of every in-between biome. And last but not least, heading back to a cold biome here at spawn for my favorite frog variant, the green frog. This is the cold biome, so he'll be in frozen peaks, snowy taigas like this, snowy mountains, stuff like that. But yeah, this is just a classic frog look. I love the green frogs. I'm gonna have to get me a couple of these guys when 1.19 comes out. And conveniently enough, you could actually breed these guys using the slime balls. So we give this guy one and this guy one, and they should breed. Now they do have an interesting breeding technique. One of them is gonna head over to the water and actually lay some eggs on top. It's gonna take a while for them to waddle on over, but there we go. It's going to go on the water, and right here we have, I believe it's called frog spawn. Now these little eggs will spawn ourselves some tadpoles. Now tadpoles are this adorable little fish mob that's no bigger than a few pixels, and they kind of just swim around the water and eventually grow up into frogs. Cool thing about these guys though, you could actually pick them up in a little bucket, and there's his little face sticking out, so you can put them back wherever you'd like, maybe move some tadpoles over and start a little frog farm. Who knows? Frogs will also eat magma cubes, and that is a very interesting function. and that's how we actually get those beautiful shiny blocks over there. So, oh, that is a big magma cube. I'm trying to get a little one, so maybe we'll take this guy out a little bit. Okay, now we have 3 here, and as you can see, the warm temperate frogs will drop the purple lights, and the other ones will drop the different colors. There's yellow and green, and I'm pretty sure the orange frog will drop the yellow, green will drop the green, and yeah, so that is a cool way to get these frog lights. Maybe you could set up a sort of magma cream spawner or something like that, with some frogs around and get a whole bunch of frog lights, who knows. And lastly, back to the mud blocks. They are actually renewable. You can make them just using some dirt and a water bottle. If you left click on some dirt and use the water on it, it turns it into mud. So you can go around your world, and maybe these little patches of dirt, you want to turn them into mud, you just use a water bottle on it like that. And yeah, that means infinite mud, infinite packed mud, and all the blocks that come along with it. Oh no, it seems that I have tripped and spilt all my cookies on the ground. I wish I had someone around that could help me out and clean this stuff up. Well, good thing we do. Meet the Allay. We're going to give him a cookie. He's going to collect up all the cookies that he could see around and throw them back to us. This is the newest mob that we will be getting added into 1.19, and I think it's the most adorable thing in the world. We also have a note block here, so if we put that down on the ground, it will definitely link to it if we press it once. Saw the little vibrations go over to him, so let's throw some more cookies on the ground so we can come get them and tap this note block. You should bring it over to the note block instead of us, so that's a pretty cool mechanic. I think one of the best parts about the Allay as well is that it'll follow you around once you give it an item, and you have a little buddy collecting things for you forever. Now you can actually find Allays at pillager outposts and cages on the side like this. Now I actually put this guy in here, I'm not gonna lie. I came here, the top was open and there was nothing in it, but yeah, little cages like this, kind of like how they keep iron golems. You could also find Allays in here. And another thing that's new about these outposts, in the, hello skeleton, loot chests up top, you could also find goat horns. And we have Seek in here, so that's pretty cool. Something else coming in the wild update that's pretty interesting are these goat horns. Now they actually come in 8 different varieties. We have Ponder, Sing, Seek, Feel, Admire, Call, Yearn, and Resist. And they all have different sounds, and you basically get them from getting a goat to ram into a wall, maybe made of spruce like this one. You're probably not going to find something like that, but it could be stone or anything like that, and they'll actually lose their horns, and they'll drop a random kind of goat horn. So I guess let's play one of these guys. Don't know if that was the best one to play. Here's one you might recognize if you've ever done a raid. That's pretty neat. But without further ado, we're gonna spawn a couple of goats in here, and hopefully one of these guys decides to ram me, and we could dodge it, and they'll run right into this wall of spruce. So let's keep our eyes peeled. Switching it into survival now, we could hopefully get one of these guys to ram into us and dodge out of the way in time so he hits the wall. Here we go. And he rammed the wall. Perfect. And there's the goat horn right there. Let's see what kind we got. So you can see I got a couple here that I missed. And we have Call. See what this sounds like. I don't like that at all. That was scary. Now let's say after discovering all that new stuff, you are leaving back to your base. You've got all this junk on you that you don't really want to carry, just in case you find extra things. Well, thankfully, we now have a chest boat, so you could travel along and store your items as you please. If you crouch and click on it, you could access the inventory of the chest, maybe throw all your stuff in there, maybe some disc fragments, maybe the new other side disc, and some echo shards. Who knows, stuff like that, and you could carry it around with you as you go, just like this in the boat. Been waiting a long time for this. Now for the second huge part of this update, you may be wondering why I have night vision enabled. Well, I was able to use the new /locate command here in Bedrock Edition and found ourselves an ancient city somewhere deep in these caves. So I think I'm going to explore through it, and hopefully we will find the deep dark biome, one of the newest additions in the Minecraft Wild update. As you make your way through the deep slate caves, you may be stumbling upon a very infected looking area, and it is covered in this vein called skulk. And right over here we have a little section of a deep dark biome, and you can even get full skulk blocks here. Now you can mine these up with a hoe, and I'm pretty sure if you silk touch them you'll get the block, but if you just mine the block itself you'll get a little bit of experience as well. You'll find caverns and caves that are completely infested with skulk blocks, including some of the things that grow on this skulk, like this here. This is a skulk catalyst, and these guys basically take experience from any mob that may be killed around it and turn it into the skulk here. Putting down a catalyst here, let's spawn a zombie in, and when we take this guy out, the catalyst should start to produce some skulk around just like that. So you could take these guys home with you with silk touch, I believe, or find them in some chests. Continuing down this cavern a little bit, we have ourselves a skulk shrieker. Now, these guys are dangerous. We have to be careful with these, and this is what actually spawns in the Warden. So I think I'm just going to remove that for now, and we'll talk about it in a second. And if you're brave enough to follow the skulk, you will end up in the carpeted corridors of an ancient city like we have here. Definitely the biggest structure, I think, at least one of the biggest structures in Minecraft to date. It is looking incredible. They added all sorts of new structures into this, including updating it once already, adding some more carpet, and even some wooden pieces like this bridge here. But yeah, as you go around, you'll find a whole bunch of custom structures with a whole bunch of chests and loot to be had. So let's go through some of these. Making sure to find a chest over here with no shriekers so we don't activate a warden accidentally, we could check out what we got. So in here, we have cat, a music disc, and actually a disc fragment. So there is going to be a new music disc added into the game. I believe it's disc number 5, and you actually need to find disc fragments in order to craft it. One of the first discs you have to craft yourself. Other than that, there's some skulk and even some bottles of enchanting in here, so I know that the loot has gotten a few updates throughout the pre-releases and stuff here, so let's see what else we could find. These two chests here have some cool things. There's even some potions of regeneration too, so that's pretty good. A couple candles, and in this one we have even more disc fragments and a lot of amethyst shards. We even have a skulk sensor in here as well, and some coal, so these chests have a lot. This tower, I think, is a newer structure. I'm interested to see what's at the top here. There's no real, like, floor, it looks like. Okay, yeah, there is. So let's see what's at the top in this chest. We've got a couple of regular books. Oh, even protection 4 and mending iron leggings. A nice looking hoe here, and a catalyst as well as a sensor. This is looking great. This loot is definitely worth it if you're asking me. Now, a couple of these structures have significant meanings that I guess you could figure out on your own. Right here you can see there is a iron trapdoor with a pressure plate and a bunch of ice around here. Now this is the ice box, I believe they're calling it. And I'm just gonna break this trapdoor because I can't get in there, but down in here I believe you'll find another chest that's full of food. We got some golden carrots, baked potatoes, and ice and stuff. I guess this is where the warden stores his food? I don't know. Here we go. Another new thing in this update is echo shards here. Now you can collect up 8 of these, and if you surround them in a crafting table with a compass, you actually make a recovery compass. Now this is a pretty special one. You could die, lose all your stuff in this ancient city, but if you have one of the recovery compasses, it will point to where you last died so you can recover all your materials. I think that's really cool. And this is probably the best find so far. We have an enchanted golden apple in this chest. So yeah, I gotta say, the loot in this ancient city is some of the best, and this is one of the biggest structures, so I'm definitely looking for one of these in 1.19. But we can't talk about ancient city loot until we talk about this center structure here. Now there is really no evidence as to what the center frame might be. I guess we'll leave that up to you guys, the players. But there is a secret to this center area. So if we head up along this bridge, you'll see a single chest right underneath the frame here. And if we take a look inside, there's just one golden apple in here. Now this implies that we need to eat it, but what does that do? Now, skulk sensors like this one here let out a signal based on vibrations that they sense around it. So you can see there, I just landed on a block here and that let out a vibration. Another one is when a player eats something like this golden apple. So if we eat this here, you can see that does actually activate the sensor. Now, let's take this golden apple over to our bridge over here. We could show you guys something cool. So there is, right underneath the portal frame, what looks to be sort of a frame for a door to enter something. We stand close enough right at this stair, and then eat our golden apple. That should trigger the sensor on the inside, I hope. Were we close enough? Maybe if I stand right next to it. There we go, yeah, it opened. So if we walk into this area, we could see that there is a whole redstone contraption back here that is still shutting off, as we could see with the redstone lamps, and eventually the doors close behind us. There's our skulk sensor right there, so you have to stand up right next to these blocks in order to get in, and we have the secret room of the ancient city. Now this has to be my absolute favorite part of the ancient cities, because as you go around here, you'll notice there's all sorts of setups for different redstone contraptions here, including we have a lectern, I think, somewhere hooked up to a redstone lamp, and this is one of the biggest displays of redstone that is naturally generated that we've ever seen in Minecraft. So this shows that you could put a book and quill on this lectern, and it'll activate a redstone signal. This one is showing how target blocks work. The piston will extend it to the redstone lamp to activate it. Whoops. But I think it really adds to the lore of this area. Who was here before us who would have access to all of these contraptions and understand how they work? But guess they'll leave that up to the player. You guys can explore around and sort of figure out these contraptions yourselves, or if you're really just looking for materials, there are all sorts of comparators and repeaters, redstone torches, and all sorts of things back here, just so you could take them for yourself. With all the structures and loot out of the way now, I think it's finally time to talk about the Warden. Now, I've been avoiding it by breaking these skulk shriekers around here because this is what will alert the Warden to our presence. The shrieker will activate by a player either walking over it, or maybe a vibration from a skulk sensor. So let's place one down over here by the skulk, and there we go, the shrieker activates. We should maybe see a Warden soon. I don't know if that will quite do it. Let's go one more time and activate it again. Let's come on out, buddy. I want to show the world what you're made of. We're going to walk right over it this time, and we might even get a darkness effect from that. And if we do, I have the night vision on, so it's going to look a little bit weird. But come on out, Warden, wherever you are. Maybe we try a shrieker that we haven't placed down ourselves. So I'm just, casual player, just want to open a chest here, that's all. And oh no, what was that? The shrieker is activated, oh no. Definitely a Warden coming. Where's the Warden? Okay, here we go. Now he is climbing out of the skulk, and here's our boy. So this guy is actually a blind mob. So he can't see anything, but as you saw there, he sniffs around and looks for enemies. So it looks like he may have actually tracked onto someone. What's going on over here? He's going pretty fast. Oh yeah, there's a wandering trader over there, so he's probably going to go after him. But he also senses vibrations just like the skulk sensors do. But yeah, Mr. Trader, you are in trouble. Okay, here he comes. He's still sniffing him out. Still sniffing him out, and he's probably going to take out this trader real quick. And there's his roar. Yep, he is very, very strong, and there he goes. Yeah, so this guy is pretty much aggro to anything, but you can easily sneak around him. He is blind, like I said, and the corridors here are full of wool. If I walk around on this wool and sneak, he's not going to notice us at all. As you could see and probably hear, the Warden's heartbeat is very loud and intense coming from the center of his chest there, and I really love the animation of this guy walking around. Really creepy, but also kind of cute at the same time. And after a while, he will dig himself back down into the ground once there is nothing else left, and we are safe. So, yeah, running into this guy in survival is definitely a different story. Be very, very careful. Something that's probably going to help out a lot when you're sneaking around these cities is a brand new enchantment for leggings called Swift Sneak. So we're going to apply these, and I am sneaking now and pretty much walking the same speed as if I was, walking regularly. So this is going to help out a lot. The Warden also has a sonic boom attack that I actually haven't seen yet, so I'm going to try and get him to do that on maybe a zombie here. I'm going to just spawn a couple around and maybe he could shoot something, so it's like sort of a beam that comes from his chest. Oh, and there it was. Okay, so that was very powerful, and it shot that zombie right off of that balcony there. Wow. Wow, this guy is scary. Mobs can't actually spawn on these skulk blocks here, so as long as there's nothing around and you can sneak casually, you should be able to get through these cities without running into the Warden, but always keep your eyes out, because once they appear, the Warden is very, very powerful and very strong, and like I said, very scary. I think that pretty much covers all of the new features that are going to be coming in 1.19 for the most part. I'm sure I missed some things. Definitely let me know in the comments what your favorite feature is going to be, or anything that, you know, I may have left out that you think is important. But with that being said, I think it's time to move on to more of the technical side of things. Like I had mentioned before, I'm a Bedrock exclusive player, and there was a lot of vanilla parity coming in this update. Just to name off a few, we have a new Raid Victory bar that appears and fireworks will shoot from the village. The globe banner pattern is here. Upgraded some trades from villagers, including the librarian, cartographer, cleric, butcher, and even the wandering trader. The iron golems will crack upon taking damage. We have 64-bit seeds, which means that our seeds now match Java Edition, and we could do worlds in both editions now, which is fantastic. Armor toughness is now a thing to match Java, and so some of the resistance to certain attacks will be different. Upgraded the protection enchantments as well. Shulkers will now duplicate if they shoot each other with a shulker projectile, and axes disable shields, and these are just some of the parity features that are coming. I think that's absolutely incredible. Shout out to those developers, really keeping an eye out for our edition here. Another important vanilla parity feature is there's a new game mode coming to Bedrock Edition. Now it is still an experimental feature, but we are getting spectator mode soon, so we're going to enter into that now, and it looks like we did it. So we could fly around here, it looks like, and I think it's the same controls pretty much as creative, except you can't hit the ground, and we're just a floating head. But this is going to be awesome, and hopefully open up a lot of doors for different creator things, for maybe time lapses and stuff. And as you can see, we can go right through the ground and take a look at all the caves and stuff underneath. Maybe even see, yep, there's where the ancient city is down there. So this is perfect, and whoa, right next to my face. I love that we could do this now, so feel a lot more like Java Edition, I guess. But for now, I think that's going to do it for me. I really hope you enjoyed this brief summary into Minecraft Wild Update 1.19, coming out very, very soon. And let me know what your favorite feature is and what you're most excited about. But for now, I am a floating head named Nixcraft, and I will see you folks in the next one. Take care.